Let's explore triggers. What is a trigger? Well, we can say that a trigger is a sign that I am believing something that is false or a lie to be real or the truth. We can look at it like this, that a trigger, when we say I'm triggered, something in me is triggered, well, what is it that's being triggered? This trigger is like an alarm. It's like a bell that goes off. Whoa, ding, ding, ding. It gets your attention. Something in me is being triggered. But what is it that's being triggered? It's a lie that's being triggered. It's that which is false that is being triggered. Because that which is real doesn't get triggered. That which is true doesn't get triggered. We can swap this word trigger with threatened. Often when people say things like, I was so triggered, it's something that's being threatened. Now, the truth is never threatened. It's only a lie that's threatened. The response of this threat is usually one of two ways: fight or flight. There's an avoidance of that which is threatening. So we avoid the trigger. Oh, she triggered me. Well, I'm not going to be her friend anymore. I'm going to avoid her. I hope she doesn't show up at the grocery store because I don't want to run into her. So there's an avoidance strategy that's played out. Or the fight strategy is the other option. I feel threatened. Well, now I want to attack you. It's typically played out as this fight or flight response. And this is very compulsive. It's this reactivity. Instead of that reactivity, there can simply just be the awareness of the sign. And this is very rare because most, when there's the trigger, there's the reaction. There's not really a true response. Response ability is this ability to respond to the situation. But the ability to respond to the situation requires the awareness. When this reactivity is, you could say, unconscious, it's this compulsive reactivity. Oh, so it's like something is said, then something feels triggered, threatened, and then there's this reactivity. Fight that person. Run from that person. This fight or flight. Because that's why I said it. You can swap that word trigger for a threat. Threaten. Something is getting threatened. That which is real is never threatened. That which is the truth is never threatened. It's only a lie that is threatened. What needs protecting? The truth or a lie? What's the lie? That's what needs protecting. I'm going to protect this lie and avoid that type of confrontation, that sort of life circumstance, that situation. I'm going to avoid those people. There's a guarding, a closing off. This is why when people get triggered, it can also go one or two ways. There's either an opening up to then seeing. There needs to be this openness. I speak about this in that video that I posted recently about shadow work. There needs to be an opening, an openness to have a look, to see what is it I'm open to seeing. Ding, 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 ding. Something's getting triggered. It's a sign. Well, there's an openness to having a look. What is it? What is it that feels threatened? What is it that I'm believing to be true that is not true? Because this trigger doesn't feel good. Right? No one says, I just want to wake up today and get so triggered by everybody. No one does that. So this sense of it not feeling good. Well, what doesn't feel good? Well, it's when you believe a lie, when you take a lie to be the truth. That's what doesn't feel good. When you're taking something that's unreal to be reality. Believing an illusion to be reality. That's what doesn't feel good. So it's this lie that's triggered. It's this ignorance that's triggered. It's never the truth that's triggered. It's never the truth that's threatened. It's very ironic that the truth is unprotected and never threatened. But it's a lie that needs protection and is always threatened. So by having a look, that openness to have a look, what is it that I'm believing to be real that is actually false? What is it that I'm taking to be the truth that is actually a lie? Because that's what doesn't feel good. That's what I'm suffering. I'm suffering an illusion. I'm suffering a lie. So this trigger, it acts as a sort of lie detector. By being aware of it, I should say, by being aware of the trigger. The trigger itself is not the lie detector. The trigger is more of a ding, ding. It's like the alarm. It's like a bell. But that which is detecting that ding, ding, that lie, well, that which is detecting the lie can't be a lie. The truth is a lie detector. A lie can't detect another lie. It's only that which is real that can detect what is unreal. So it's as if there's this lie detector. Now, it then needs to be explored, right? The first is this openness. You want to explore. Am I open? Well, what is it that I'm taking to be the truth that is actually a lie? Now, in exploring this lie, you can't lie to yourself, right? Like it requires honesty. It requires honesty. Otherwise, this is what we just call delusion. We're just lying to ourselves. And lying to yourself doesn't feel good. Right? The experience is just more suffering by lying to yourself. Continuing to delude oneself is just this, it's more and more suffering. But if we take this trigger to be, okay, this is an alarm, something is being threatened. Ding, 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 something's being threatened. Okay, have a look. But in order to have a look, you can't be busy fighting or running. That's what's not so obvious. In the midst of fighting, you aren't having a look. In the midst of fighting or flighting, you are ignoring that sign. Ding, 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 ding. That's being ignored. And there's attacking the other person, blaming the other person. You made me feel like this. No, they didn't make you feel like that. That feeling that doesn't feel good is because of taking a lie to be the truth. Ignoring reality. That's what doesn't feel good. Because ignoring reality, it is suffering. This ignorance is the root of suffering. This identification, taking myself to be that which I'm not, is the root of suffering. And that's what it's always pointing to. Now, even this kind of realm or circle of healing, it's kind of pointing to that, even when we speak about the trigger pointing to that which is unhealed. But the true healing is actually realizing that nothing needs to be healed. It's realizing your wholeness. It's realizing that nothing's broken. See, but by identifying with that which we are not, some broken person that's trying to fix themselves and they're a work in progress and they're just striving for perfection, well, this is just simply not true. And when it's believed to be true, well, then there's suffering, that illusion, suffering that lie. So the true healing, when that trigger ding, 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 when the true healing is actually realizing that that's false. That's simply not true. So this trigger is like a sign that's pointing to that which is not true. Like I said, I'll come back to it, is the truth is not threatened. It doesn't need to be protected. It's not out there looking for a fight. It needs no support. It's lies that need support. It's an illusion that needs support. The truth is independent. Lies depend on a whole bunch of other lies to sustain it, to maintain the illusion. That compulsive reactivity is not feeling good, and then the blame. It's you that made me feel like this. Therefore, I'm going to attack you or I'm going to avoid you. But if we just put that on hold and have a look, it requires that openness, it requires honesty, it requires humility, it requires curiosity, and it requires courage. I speak about this in the video about shadow work, that these qualities, which are actually, this is all of these things that I've mentioned, this openness, this humility, this honesty, this curiosity, this courage. It's actually, everything that I listed is a non-doing. It's not really something you do. But it's essential for this looking within and uncovering, so to say. Because all of this reactivity is a doing. And this is then the distraction. This is kind of like this pointing fingers that makes you feel like the problem is out there. It's because of what he said. He triggered me. He's got to go, or I have to stay away from him because it's a threat. But what is it threatening? It's not really he's a threat. There's just simply a lie that's being threatened here. And when this is not looked at, when there's not that openness, when there's not the humility, when there's not the honesty, when there's not the courage, when there's not the curiosity, then this is just what, I don't know, you could call somebody that's just triggered. And it feels like, to others, like others have to walk on eggshells around this person. I'm not too sure if that's the right figure of speech, the saying. But they have to like watch themselves because almost like every little thing is going to bother them. They become sensitive in a different way than I use the word sensitivity. I'm talking about more of an ego sensitivity, meaning like it's this, everything is a threat. But like I said, it's only lies that are threatened. It's only the illusion that's threatened. I want to ignore reality and I want to just be with me in my illusion. So there's this protectiveness, this protection that what do I need? What am I guarding? What am I protecting? You see, there's a guarding activity, there's a protecting activity. And this activity is not different than the lying activity, than the identification activity. It's one and the same. It's not like there's actually a physical thing called like a lie and it's like right here and it's like you're protecting it. Like someone's going to come for it and you got to protect it. It's an activity. Because this lie is not an actual, it's not a thing. It's an activity. It's more of lying. Lying is something that you have to do. Identification is it's an activity. There's not an actual entity. So this identification activity, this lying activity, this protecting activity, it's all the same activity. When seen clearly, it's just this one activity. It appears like there's a guarding, a shielding, a protecting that's going to protect something, but there's actually no thing. And when it's not guarding, it's lying. And when it's not lying, it's identifying. Like it's just this chameleon-like activity. So that trigger, if it's, what do we say there? If it's treated as like an alarm bell for ding, 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 lie, 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 illusion, illusion, ignorance, ignorance. If it's seen like that, then you actually see that this is a catalyst for awakening. It's a blessing in disguise. These family members, these friends that seem to be triggering you, it's all part of the awakening process. It's waking you up from the illusion, from the dream, from the lie. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.